Hi, everybody. This is Ryan from Dice Up the Classroom here. I decided to finally start showing everybody how to use Google Classroom for mobile devices as well as desktop devices here. I feel it was time to do it because I talked about the Google Classroom, and we are slowly moving from our traditional online to Google Classroom, for we do have Google Apps for Education. So in this case, I'm going to show you how you can do it both desktop. It also works similar to Android devices, so we'll get going. So first of all, to start this all off, something you need to remember is you do need to turn on the admin control here for Google Classroom. If you do not turn this on here, your students and your teachers cannot set up a classroom or get into it. Another thing is you have to be in the same domain. If you have two different domains, like say most of my teachers are on one domain and my students are on another domain, you can't be in the same classroom. You need to be in the same domain for your Google Apps for Education. So your administrator has to do that. If you already have set up between staff email and student emails, and you're going to have to create a staff emails on the student server or merge the two together here. But that's what you have to do, or you cannot use Classroom. Once that's taken care of, you will have everything set up here for your paperless classroom. Now, I'm going to give advice both on Chromebooks and MacBooks or desktop is make sure you download the Chrome app launcher. This is great because then for students and for teachers, when you click on it, you will have it all set up for your main apps, and you can set these up the way you want them. This is my one screen I usually use for Google Classroom. As you can see, I have the web store, but I have Chrome, Gmail, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides, Draw, of course the main classroom, Search, Hangouts, Google Calendar, YouTube, Mind Mapping, and then I have my share features. You can do these anyway, but I highly recommend that you use these specific apps when you are setting up your Google Classroom for students. Especially if you're going to use mobile devices or Chromebooks or desktop computers. Definitely have these ready to go. That way all they have to do is just click on the classroom and they can go right in here, and then they can, of course, if they need to write an assignment or anything, they go right to their Google Drive through these apps. But we're going to get onto that right now. So here is my setup right now, the paperless classroom. This is my test class, as I like to call it. And as you can see, first you have to do is if you go right over here to your home page when you get it all set up for your Google Classroom once you log in here. I am part of a couple of class assignments, as you can see, and then I have my tech class and I have my setup. And to do this, you go right up here. Once you've logged on in, you go right over here and click on the plus button. You either can join a class or create a class. If you're joining a class, hit join and you put in the classroom password so that way you can join the class. But if you're going to create one, you just of course hit create and then you can go, and I've already set that up. So let me go right up here to paperless classroom. As you can see, I have this set up here. You can change your classroom theme right here if you want to. You have a set of galleries here you can do here for depending on your subject, from art to science to technology to nature and so forth and so forth. I do know in a future way you'll be able to actually customize the Google Classroom layout for the theme gallery, but right now this is your choices. For paperless, I decided to go with right here the bricks because this is basically me building from the ground up. You then name your classroom and then you go from there. So once you have your set up your class here, you'll have your three sections. You'll have your stream, which of course is your announcements or assignments that you can do. You can do a tour if you want to go over the basics. You also have your student view, or as you can see right now, I don't have any. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can hit invite, and what happens is you can actually send your emails in here for it, or if you have groups together, you can get them and send that off, or you can just give them the classroom code. And of course, then there's an About section. Now, here is the trick about the About section. The About section right here would be typing in what this class is about. So I would just call this the paperless classroom using Google Classroom for your students. And then if you have a room you can put in here, we don't here. And then, of course, the teacher's email is right here. And then there's a Google folder. Now, here's a trick about the Google folder. This Google folder is actually designed for the class. So when you log into your Google Drive, it shows the Google folder for that classroom. However, this is not visible to students until either there's an assignment or unless you share the assignment. So as you can see here, there's nothing here. I can add something new here, create a folder or docs here, and I can just say And I'll just call this test document. And then, of course, I have on my share here. Now, as you can see, people have links to the school can get on here. However, you can change this to be specific people. If you really want this to be like a classroom node folder, you need to put this onto anyone with the link, and then you need to put it into edits, and then you have to hit save. Now, the best way to get the alert for students is then put in your student emails right here. So I would put in my student emails of my class, and once we do that, we'd be off and running. So I would do that to get that set up, and this can be your classroom notes. But otherwise, it's not going to show up otherwise. Once that's done, you need to get a student enrolled. Now, they can do it several different ways. They can do it on a computer or mobile. I have my one mobile right here, and I have my fake student all set up, ready to go. Now, when they sign into the classroom, you have to basically set up if you're a teacher or student. They would, of course, do student. They don't need to know about the classroom. They would hit next. They get the little tour. And once that's all done, it says right here you have no classes. So to head that in, they just have to go to the top and hit add class right here. And you put in the class code. And once they are all set and good, it'll switch on over. And now if I look right here, my student view, I have it. And of course, if I want to, I can contact them by email right here, and it'll pop it right into Gmail. And of course, now I can do a message right here. I can send this up. I have Boomerang, so I could set this up if I want to do a message later, but I would just be testing subject. Here you go. And I could send that off, and then my student would get that email. And if I want to, I can always click on here, and I actually can do actions. I can remove them from the class, I can mute them from the class, or I can email them directly here. But now my student is in here. So once that's all set up, of course, we need to do an assignment. So I'm going to do right here, I'm going to do an assignment, and it's going to ask me up here. So I'm going to say student profile. Tell me what you want to learn in this class. So I'm going to set a due date right here. I'm going to set that up. I'll set it up for next Tuesday. It's going to be due before midnight on that. I'm giving a little time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up into my Google Drive folder here. I'm going to put into this. I can either go, or I can do one for my announcement here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that up right here. I'm going to go to Classroom. I'm going to go to my Papers Classroom, and I'm going to set this test document. I'm going to add that to it. And once that's all good and set, I will see if they can view or edit. Of course, I want them to edit the file or make a copy for each student. So I'm just going to select make a copy for it because I'm giving them all the same assignment. If you have Doctopus, you can do it this way, or Gubrick. But in this case, I'm just going to make a copy for each student here, and I'm going to assign it. And there we go. We're all set. If they want to, I can add a comment to this if I want to. So I can say, please download and fill out and upload to the classroom assignment folder. And then I post it. And there we go. So if I go back to the student view right here, I can go right over here. And as you can see, I have my classroom folders here and my assignments. So of course, I'm going to click on my assignment. And there it is, the student profile. I'm going to click on that. It will tell it right there to me that it is due tomorrow on 11:59. And could you please download this? So what I'll do is I will just click on that. So there is my assignment. So right here, as you can see, it is not done and turned in, but here's the assignment for me. So I'm just going to click on that. So there's my test folder right there. It says test in the folder. So I'm just going to click on this. And I'm going to just edit it. So I can work off the desktop right here, do some work on it, and either share it directly when I turn the assignment, or if I want to, I I can just click on the file folder right here. It says not thing, hit turn in, add or create a document, so I can go right to my drive. I'm going to turn that one in. There it is. I'm going to tap it in, and then I'm going to do it. And my assignment's now turned in. Now, I do have time if I want to before it's due to unsubmit it. Let's say I made a mistake or something didn't copy there right. I can then, of course, hit unsubmit, and it will take it back out. And then I have until the assignment is due to get it turned in again. And if I want to, I can send in a private comment to it. And that way, when I go over to my assignments here, I will go over to my stream. And I'll go to assignments, and right here, as you can see, I have one done. I click on it, and as you can see, here is my assignment. So now I can click on this, and then I can look at the test document. And then what I can do is, if I want to, I can then add in comments to it. And then they'll get an alert right there that I have done it. And then if I want to, I can get out for the grades here and give this 1 point. And I'm going to give them a grade of 1. Because I'm going to give them a grade of 0 because they didn't do very well right there. And then once I do it, I've submitted it. And we are finished. So now we have that, and if I want to, I can either download the folder, I can email the student, or I can connect with their Google Drive through their student profile. So that's a little setup right there. Now this is the desktop to mobile version. Mobile to mobile works very, very similar. If I go right here to my iPad, as you can see, I am all set up here. I have all my main apps ready to go. I highly recommend, if you're an iPad school, download Drive app, Google Slides, Sheets, Docs, and of course do download Google Search there, because then these ones will work really great when you're leaving from the classroom to the mobile. There isn't a Google Draw right now or a Goobric or Doctopus to work through that. You would have to go through the Safari or Google Chrome app. But if I go right here to Classroom, once again, here is my dashboard. As you can see, everything is set up. My classes that I'm done, assignments, homework, and my classroom folders here. So if I go right here back to my paperless classroom, as you can see, I have one not done out of so many students. That's because I did this as a setup here. But let's say I want to assign a new assignment. I hit the plus button. And right here, I can share my class. I can just do an announcement here. So I'm just going to do an announcement, and I'm saying I can add an attachment if I want to by hitting the plus button. It'll ask me right there, do I want to do it from a photo, a link, or a drive? So I want to kind of do a photo here because I want them to think about this for classroom. So I'm going to put together my little unit here, add that in my announcement. And then once that's done, I'm just going to post it. So here I have set up right here. I have done my assignment, done my announcement right there, all set up. And then, of course, if I go to my other mobile version over here on my phone, where my student profile is, as you can see, there's the announcement right there. I can click on that. It says, please read. And as you can see, I do have an attachment there, so I can click on it. It'll open up in Google Docs. And there's the picture of my color wheel that I sent with the students, because that is the beginning of it. There's not much of a difference between the mobile version and the desktop version of Google Classroom. The only difference is, of course, the About section and the folders in here. The difference, of course, being is the mobile is a little bit more streamlined and everything. You only have the stream and the students and your ability to, of course, create assignments directly through the mobile device. But if you do anything where you use the different Google apps, you, of course, can attach them and do that. The one thing that's really nice about the mobile device is how you can do this on the go and actually set up your assignments to be just announcements here. However, you don't have a create add attachment for a full assignment versus the desktop version right here, which of course you can go right in here and create your assignments no problem. So that's the only thing right now on the mobile version that's weak right now, even though you can turn in and express your assignments pretty well. But if you're going to do a full assignment setup, I would definitely go with the desktop version here so you can set up everything between the announcement and the assignment versus the mobile, which as you can see right now in my stream, it just does it as an announcement versus a setup for a full assignment. Because right now it just shows my assignment view under there. So that's a little way you can do introduction there for the Google Classroom on desktop and mobile devices. If you have any other questions, please ask me over at Taking Your Classroom to the Next Level, or look for me on Twitter at Ryan7Reed. I'll see everybody later.